So now I wanted to show you how Lab 2 works. So it's the same executable to help to understand what's going on. So the big difference compared to Lab 1 is that instead of providing the action and the message, you just provide a file instead. All the other options stay the same, but now you just provide a file. Here's a description. One of the important things is that if you pass in a dash, it'll read from standard in. I'll demonstrate that in a second. So let's run this without anything, just to show, okay, it's saying the file argument is required. Great. So to run this, I would do input, some file. Mine's called input.txt. Run that. Before I run this, let me show you what input looks like. So it's just a list of commands with messages. So you got an action, and then the message you want to perform the action on. And these are each separated by new lines. That's how the server knows to process this. So what will happen in the protocol level is that all these requests will get sent at once, and then your client will receive all the responses all at once and have to parcel them out and understand what's going on. So that's what we're doing here, just saying a bunch at once, testing out the pipelining idea. Okay, so let's pass that in. Sure enough, we get everything back the way we asked it for. Let's turn the verbose flag. So I've sent out a lot of different things, a lot of different messages. Yours will obviously look different. Whatever makes sense for you. Well, that's helpful. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. So now I want to show how it looks like with standard in. So I could pass in just a dash. And my client is smart enough to say, okay, this is a dash. That means I'm reading from standard in instead of from a file. So it's not going to try to open the file that's named dash. It's going to read standard in. So now I'm just sitting here, just waiting for my input. So I could do reverse hello world. That nothing's going to happen because I haven't told standard in that I'm done entering input. I could do shuffle hello world. And then to tell it, typically what you do with the terminal is you hit Control D, tells it to end. So then send the kind of end of line, end of file, so end of file message. And so then it knows that it's done sending data. It sends it to the server, and then this is the response back. So that's one way to do it, is manually enter it in. You could also do another way, do cat input. So cat just prints things out like that, but you can pipe that to our client and tell it, instead of reading from a file, reading from standard in. So that standard in will be provided by this cat input.txt command. So there you go. That's another way of doing it. You could imagine, like I say in the lab, that you could have a complex chain of different commands that happen here, run another program that asks for input, brings up a GUI, and then pipes that to our client. I don't know, or you could even take this and then grep something. Let's look for the word that, and so it'll find that for us. And so, chaining this all along, that's part of the Unix philosophy, and that's an important part of these labs, is getting that right. The rest of the changes are really at the protocol level. Those are the major changes in terms of the command line interface I can show you. Everything else happens at the protocol level. You can read more about that in the lab.